Welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Naomi, the Brickanista here in Vancouver, Washington. And welcome to those who are both on YouTube and on Rumble. I will say I'm using StreamYard as a platform. So for those of you who are on Rumble, if you want to put comments in the chat, I won't see them unless you go over onto YouTube. And then that way I'll see them over there. But anyway, welcome. Today we are working on the Jade Rabbit. This is an exclusive set, only available from the Lego store or lego.com. And it's an adorable set. This is reminiscent of Chinese New Year, and this is the Year of the Rabbit. And I absolutely adore rabbits. I used to actually have a rabbit as a pet a long time ago. And if you just take a look at the design of it, it's kind of weird that they used orange for the box because they have this, bright orange sun. They probably could have done a better job with the contrast. And they didn't do as much as far as like a decorative background. But what's the other thing that's cool about this is on the other side, you'll see that there's some hinges. So some hinges that open up. So it opens up into a longer type of display. So I'm super excited about this. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun to put this together. 288 pieces. And from the Lego store, I'm guessing we had this conversation when we were doing the community build. There is a raised platform here. And I already showed you how this opens up. There might be something hidden underneath. We were joking about the telltale heart, that a couple of these Lego builds, underneath you'll see different kinds of designs. For example, the penguin had a snowflake, and I think there have been hearts in some others. And we were joking that we should have an Edgar Allan Poe challenge where you put a telltale heart underneath the floorboards, or the Cask of Amontillado where you build a wall with some character behind it. So stay tuned. Something's going to happen around Halloween. And I'm surprised there really hasn't been an Edgar Allan Poe challenge, at least that I know of in the past. So I don't know who's going to be running it. It might be me. It might be the Dream Builders Leg. We'll figure it out. But anyway, we are going to focus on this. And like I said, I'm super, super excited about this. And I'm hoping that this is going to also work well with one of my builds that I have, kind of like a Franken build where I have my own mock in the middle. It's the ramen shop. Some of you remember me building it on stream. And then I had connected it to the Spring Garden Festival set that was designed by Justin Ramsden. And in he had it released during the Year of the Ox. So there's a big statue of an ox in there. And I swapped it out for the tiger last year. And if I do go to another convention this year, then the rabbit would be perfect. And speaking of conventions, you probably know that I missed going to Brick Rodeo, which I'm super bummed about. But it ended up kind of being, I guess, a blessing in disguise because several people got sick after Brick Rodeo. But anyway, I had a chance to display my mocks because my friend Zach Martinez, he accepted my mocks and he set them out for me. So even though I couldn't be there, my mocks were there. So I was represented. Anyway, let's go ahead, and I've got my side camera. I've made some adjustments to my side camera so it's not so much of a Dutch angle. And because this is a set that's going to open out, what I've done is I've also adjusted the camera angle a little bit and brought it out more of a wide shot. I can still zoom in though, so if we have some special pieces that we need to look at, still able to do that. But yeah, I have missed 2 conventions this year. I was supposed to go to Brick Can and hang out with my friend Brickworm, and unfortunately I had I didn't have COVID at the time, but I had some sort of cough/cold. And I didn't want to give it to her. And I probably would have been miserable too at the convention. So I didn't go to that one. That was in, I think it was March or April. And then lo and behold, I came down with COVID right before the 4th of July. And unfortunately, being positive, you don't want to get on an airplane and you don't want to go to a convention and give it to other people. So, but you can see I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I'm still doing well. And this box is like super glued in because, as you know, I don't like to open them with the tabs. So they have these tabs here. So friends don't let friends use the tabs. Open it like a tray. That way you can reuse the box later when you're done. You can set things in here and then use them. So like I said, I think maybe they're trying to discourage us from doing this some more. Okay, so this is cool. Looks like we have 2 bags, two big bags, and one number 1 small bag. And we were talking about how the new instructions, I like the new instructions. Some of the people have been saying that they don't really like the new instructions, but let me zoom in on this, that the new instructions have this pattern, this, let me see if I can get this. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. So it's got this pattern of bricks that are almost like an embossed kind of watermark kind of thing. So I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, so this set you can't get except going to a Lego store. So I'm really lucky because I'm able to go to the Lego store. It's not as convenient as where I used to live, because when I was in Seattle, there were 3 Lego stores. Here in Portland, there's only 1. But the good news is when we have special events, I get to see a lot of the people at the same store, because in Seattle, even though you have the same incentives and celebrations and such, we're often divided between stores depending on where you lived. So that's the one thing I do like. And the people here in Portland are so nice, so welcoming, super, super great people. So I'm just doing just a little bit of knolling. Yeah, this is the whitest shot that I have here. So we have a couple of cool pieces. We have this dark kind of nougat color. We have the white, of course, and these quarter round plates. Love those. And they have a little rabbit. So we've got this little tiny rabbit in here. So this is just your standard rabbit, nothing really fancy, not a, Easter egg, so to speak. Yeah, I'm wondering too. I don't remember seeing this. I guess it should have been out around Easter. I think it's been out for a little bit, but anyway, we have quite a few things. We have some trans pieces, a 1x4 trans blue. I was not expecting that. And remember those hinge pieces I was mentioning, these hinge bricks. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these together when I find them, just because you're going to have to do that anyway. So we have another one here. And this is unusual. This is a 1x2 snot brick in this kind of dark nougat color, which I don't have any. I think that's the only one I have. There's only one in the box. Lots of these 1x2 Palisade bricks. We'll have to see what those are going to be used for. And like I said, I'm just doing just a cursory kind of knolling, nothing really fancy. Just enough so I can find what I need to find. And we have a couple of different gray slopes, dark bluish gray, in a variety of shapes. Lots of slopes. But yeah. Yeah, so I'm taking a trip to Seattle this weekend. And probably there are a couple things that I can't get here in Portland, or maybe I just haven't been looking hard enough. I've been looking for some Japanese fried tofu that I like, and the stores here, there's quite a few stores, so it's just that the brand that I like. I don't see it here. So I'm going to see if I can stop by one of my favorite Japanese grocery stores up there when I have a chance. But it'll be a boomerang trip, so I'm not going to be staying for very long. Just have to do a couple of things. Okay, so here's this really small bag, and I'm just going to leave this in the corner because just those little bits and bobs. All the big pieces, I think, are pretty well molded. Yeah, so anyway, like I said, it's been I have one last thing to do in Seattle as far as I still have a storage unit there, and that storage unit has some things that I have not brought back yet. All right, so we're taking the 1x2 Palisades and putting that in there. So my hope is I've been able to get most of the things out of there, but I do know that there's just some things that I'm just going to have to probably donate or give away because I'm probably not going to have time to sell them. And like one of the things I was thinking about is I used to go to trade shows for my company, and I have like one of those pop-up backdrops. And I just don't know if I'll ever use it again because now that I'm working at a full-time position, I just don't know if I'll ever go to a trade show and have to display some things for me. So this is interesting. They're asking us to put more of these Palisade bricks up top. Whoops. So we're having that. Yeah, and it's interesting that I've been here now for 3 months. I stopped by the farmer's market to get some vegetables. And this woman was saying, yeah, I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be selling next week. I'm going to be just selling out of my shop. And she sells, different kinds of almonds and pecans and other kinds of, nuts. And she was trying to explain where her store was. And I just said, I don't know where a lot of stuff is. I've been here for 3 months and I'm still figuring it all out. All right. So I think this is one of those hidden builds that I was mentioning that's going to be underneath because this is all going to be covered up. I anticipate. Anyway, part of it may be covered up and the other part will be folding out. The fold out part is the part I'm really interested in. Yeah. I will say what's been nice is I've had a core group of friends here. So moving here, I had some friends also in Seattle, but they haven't been long-term friends. So I have a friend that I've known for several decades who's down here. And it was great. We just picked up right where we left off. And we've had lunch together a couple times. And it's just like, oh, so nice to move to an area where you know somebody. All right. Okay. So I'm not sure why, but here's that 1x2x2, and they have this orange disc. Okay. So this is where that indentation is, and it's going to go there. Or this might be that side build that we were looking at earlier on the side of the box. Oh, I got 2 rabbits, but I only saw one. Oh, there's the other one. Okay. That's great. There's 2 rabbits in here. This is adorable. Okay, so they want one rabbit right on the seam, or right up to the edge of the seam, and the other one's there. Very, very cute. Look at that. Now I wonder if they're going to cover that up. Like I said, it's a little macabre, I guess, thinking about it that way. But yeah, I have a feeling they may be covering this up. What are you doing, girl? Oh, you're back in your little hole. If you ever look at my Instagram feed, my dog decided to take one of my cabinet or from my shelf. She likes to just kind of hide in there. So, all right. So here's where one of those hinge pieces is coming in. So remember, I built this already. So that's nice. I like the fact that this doesn't have like a lot of tiny pieces, just a few. So it's good, you know, as far as manual dexterity, it's a lot easier to do. All right. And of course, if you know Lego math, 1 brick is equal to 3 plates. So we're taking 2 plates and then a plate with the clip. And that's going to go into this open section for the where the brick height would go. So we had a really fun time with the dream builders who were on when we were working on the Daily Bugle. And then I went back onto Twitch to do one more bag. And there were a lot of people who showed up. They were like, oh my God, we haven't seen you in so long on Twitch. I said, yeah, it's been a while. Okay, so I was surprised. I thought there would be some kind of Easter egg there, but it's not. It's just blank. So this is going to be, but you can see with this clip, it's going to attach somewhere. Okay, so remember we had our little friends, and here's that first hinge piece that's going to go here. Very cute, very, very cute. So you can see that we have this little scene. I guess we're going to have a brick there sometime soon. At least I'm hoping. Should be. All right, so they said work on another sub build. I'm trying to be good about trying to build for the camera. So I know I have this side camera that I'm not used to. I'm used to having a top cam, but I think this is working out better. It's a lot less. I don't have this thing in this bar in front of my head. And I probably should look at what kinds of frames or armatures that are out there. But, you know, we adjust one step at a time and do some things. I am glad the way we separated this out, though, because it's definitely easier to see things. Let's see. Yeah, I think what's been interesting is that I was thinking about holiday celebrations and kinds of things that I used to do with my family because I'm half Chinese, and Chinese New Year was always a big thing where we, you know, go out for dinner and hang out. And I miss those days, but we're all, I think, dispersed now because most of us used to live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and now we're like in Arizona. At one point, we were in North Carolina, and I think I heard one of my cousins may have moved to another part of, I think, Nevada near Vegas. Okay, so you know that's where the clip is going to attach. But as I get older, I start realizing that you know, your family and your friends, it's important to keep in touch. And last night, what was interesting is I reached out to a friend to let her know that one of our mutual friends had passed away, and they're having a memorial service for him tomorrow in North Carolina. And that's where she is. And she didn't remember the guy's name. I was like, well, I know he remembered you because we're on a group chat from like 2009. And, but she said, I'm so glad to hear from you because it's been so long. And I said, yeah, it really has. And I think that we often take for granted, that our friends and family are going to be there. And, the more I see people in the world, like Sinead O'Connor just died. And, it's like more people are dying that are either from, or they have these major illnesses. Like I was reading about Christina Applegate, who you all remember from Married with Children. And to think that she can't act anymore because she's got multiple sclerosis. I mean, you just don't know, what something's going to do to affect your life. Okay, so once again, there's no hidden thing underneath there, which kind of surprises me. But we're building this chunky type of, looks like a platform. And you can see where this is going to go. That's going to go right there, and it's going to close up. It's going to look beautiful. Yep, I was right. So this goes right here. So we have this on this side, this on this side, and they don't tell us to do this yet, but you can tell that the clip is going to attach to that bar when it closes up. And oh, maybe those rabbits are going to be hidden, because once we put the plates over top, oh, that makes me sad. I think I'm going to take those rabbits out. I don't want to suffocate them underneath. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess maybe they won't be completely suffocated because you do open this up quite a bit. Okay, so we're covering up that 1x2 now to lock it in. Do that on both sides. And then I think that's where the quarter plate is going to cover this up. It's like, no, those rabbits are suffocating. All right. Okay, so we're partially covering them up now. Yeah, it was funny when we were building the Daily Bugle. We had one of the people in the chat was Debo Bricks, and we had streamed for 4 hours, I think. Yeah, 4 hours. And some of us got through 4 bags, some of us got through 3 bags, and guess who got through 2 bags? But, I was managing the chat and doing some other things, so I cut myself some slack there. But that's why I went on to Twitch to do bag number 3 so I could catch up with everybody. So we'll schedule another follow-up on that. But it was funny because, we're building, and then Debo says, I've already built these 3 sets, in the time that, and I said, the Daily Bugle is like 16 bags. We only got through the first, like I said, 3 or 4 bags max in 4 hours time. So I think it was fun though, because if I were to build that at home, I wouldn't get as much enjoyment as I did building it with friends. So I think this is going to be like a community build stream. It's going to be something we do on a regular basis. It'll help me get through my backlog, help my friends get through their backlogs as well. Okay, so here's an interesting piece. This is a 1x1 by 2/3. So you can see it's an interesting piece too, because it has a hollow stud. So you could put some things on top of that. But the way they're using it here is they're adding, once again, I was mentioning about 3 plates equals a brick. So they're adding this to that. So we have now, because if you were to find a regular 1x1 brick that has the clip, it's actually down a plate. So in order to do this, you do need to have this special piece. And it looks like, oops, let's zoom out. So they're putting it over here, which is interesting because they have these two open studs. But that's what they're doing. And it looks like, I wonder if I missed a 1x2. Yeah, I missed a 1x2 on this side. So this looks like it's going to be like the terrain for the tree. There's a tree on this build. Oh, look, it's Alexander 23Z. How's it going? How you doing, Alex? The new 2/3 1x1 Apollo plate stud is so awesome. Yeah, I think there's only one in here, but oh no, there's another one. There's actually 3, so you get a couple of them in here. But you're right, the Apollo stud is also a big part of that. And Glenn Copeland is here too. How's it going? A plate between a brick and a plate. Okay. Good to see you both here. Welcome. I was just mentioning, remember when we were doing the other stream about, we were talking about the telltale heart and the cask of Amontillado. So these 2 rabbits, very cute here, but when this closes up, they're going to be locked in there. So I kind of feel bad. I may take them out before I close the doors on them, because just, you know, it's my build. I can do with it what I want. But yeah, good to see you, Alexander 23. I haven't seen you on a stream in a while. I hope you're doing well. I know you've had some sick kitties. I hope they're doing better. I know I always worry about Que Sera. Thankfully, she has not been sick in the almost 2 years that I've had her. She's been actually the only thing that she's been a little chunky. When she got to a point where she was like 33 pounds. So the doctor said, she's really got to lose a lot of weight. You think you're going to have to use that term blate now? Yeah. Inventory shows 5 light bluish gray blates in this set. Okay. Well, let's see. Oh, yeah, there's 2 more here. You're right. So we got 4 more here. And the one that we used over here. So, yeah. Yeah, this would be a good parts pack. If you want to just get this for parts, it's $20, 288 pieces. And it has like that dark nougat color, this color here that's in the base. But I think I've used most of them. We have a couple more 1x2 plates in that color as well. Okay, yeah, they're closing things up. Okay, I will go ahead and close it, even though I don't like the fact that those 2 bunny rabbits are suffocating now. It's like, no. They are cute though. So thank you for checking on that for me, Glenn. All right, so we do have just some regular studs, round plates, round 1x1 plates. And we have a tile, 1x1 light bluish gray tile. I think it's light bluish gray, or is it this greenish? Oh, it might be a trans color. Wait a minute. Is there a trans around? It's hard to tell with this lighting, but here I'll show you that this color. Let's see if I can zoom in a little. It almost looks greenish the way it's printed here. Let's see if I can zoom in any closer. That's about as close as I can get. But it might just be light bluish gray. Rescue the bunnies. Yes, exactly. I think maybe I should. I don't know. It just seems so sad that they're in there, right? It's like, okay, we're gonna rescue the rabbits. We can always put them back, but I just don't like closing them up. You're currently building the new Dreams turtle van. Oh, you got one of the turtles. Now, I thought it didn't release until August 1st. Is that because Walmart, I guess, put them out? I know Walmart and a couple. It's olive? Or are you talking about the stud? The stud is olive. Okay, let me see. Or the plate. Let me see if we have one. Because I have gray, light bluish gray. Aha. Okay. It's interesting because I think my lighting in here is just a little off. Light bluish gray. Ah, I think I see it. Now, see, that's kind of strange, but okay. I think that might be it. All right, let's see if. So yeah, there's a little green tinge to that, just slightly. So thank you, Glenn. So once again, it's nice to have people on the stream, so then that way they can check. But let's see. So just that slight olive green color next to the light bluish gray. Yeah. Okay. And like I said, I've rescued the rabbits, so they're not suffocating anymore. Walmart and Kohl's have had the new stuff out already for a couple of days. Really? Okay. Well, maybe I might have to swing in there. But the thing is, it's still early in the month or late in the month. I have to wait for my paycheck. You saw it early this morning in our country Walmart. Oh, okay. Lucky you. And lucky you, you have so much disposable income. I'm actually saving up some money, though, because I'm planning a trip to Legoland in early October. In fact, I was talking to my HR people in my, I say HR people, but just the people responsible for tracking my hours. And I said, yeah, I want to make sure I'm going to have PTO time for the fall because I want to go to Legoland and I may be going to Disney too. I'm on the fence about it because Disney is so expensive, but it is the 100th anniversary. So I'm kind of thinking, if I'm going to be that close, because San Diego and Anaheim, they're only, or Carlsbad, I should say, Carlsbad, California, it's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. All right, so here's this little sub build that I made. So it's a angled plate, and then we have two plates, and then you have a stud, and then that clip piece. Yeah, like I said, I like having this side camera, having this function, which is nice. You have to get the set you're building. Yeah, this one you can only get from Lego. It's a Lego exclusive. Darn you, Lego enabler. I think we're all enablers. I mean, I've been watching, for example, Fourth World Adam. He posted this picture about Lego playing cards. And I don't know, Glenn, when you were at Brick Rodeo, did they have these Lego cards? Were they using them when they were there? Because I said, man, that looks so cool. Okay, so we are now going to put this. I think we are. Yeah, so this is going here. So you can see these clips are lining up. And then those blates, I guess we're now calling them blates. The blates with the Apollo stud are going next to them here. I think I skipped a step. No, I think I'm okay. I'm back. I think I'm back on track. Yeah, I'm back. Okay. Here's another piece that you don't see very often. A cross plate. We want that here. And then we're going to finish this off. And looks like some azure. Azure and brown look really good together. I do like that combination. You see the azure, the brown. That one lone olive plate, though. Duh, Lego exclusive. Yeah, that means you have to go to a Lego store or order them online. Yeah, Lego cards. I have the box here. I'll bring them out when I'm done. But I was thinking, that people were saying at Brick Rodeo they have like game nights where they break out a bunch of cards and people play different card games. So I was thinking, yeah, that would be cool. Okay, so we are going to we do have, I guess there's a waterfall maybe for this, because we have this trans tile, and then they want to put this trans 1x2 plate. That's going to go here right next to the blade. And then, yeah, it looks like this is going to break it up. Yeah. So we have this combination. Let me see if I can bring it in closer here. So we have the little translucent pieces on top. It looks like it's going to be like a waterfall or maybe just a little river or something. Okay. More detailing. So they want this stud over here, this light bluish gray stud. There's one more. What's the other one? Oh, is that a one? It's not a blade, but it's similar. It's like it looks like a square. Or maybe it's translucent. Sorry, it's translucent. Nothing special here. It's just a translucent 1x1 plate, square plate. But I shouldn't say it's not special. All of you are special. all of you Lego pieces are special. Yeah, so Lego playing cards. They just came out with them, and I bought a set because Fourth World Adam posted that you could get them at Barnes and Noble. I'll show you once, like I said, once I'm done here. So once again, we're building up this little terrain here. Even have some slopes, more blades. So slope goes here, and then 2 blades. You've created a new term, blades. I just realized I have this person's business card here. You should put that away. All right. Let's see. Okay. Like I said, we have one more bag and that's it. So it's not a whole lot, but you can see that all of this is all I have left for bag number 1. I put the 2 bunny rabbits aside because I didn't want them suffocating in there. Okay, so let's see, what are we doing now? It looks like we're putting a slope on the blades. So slope goes on here, and then stud on a blade. So you can see we're covering up those Apollo studs. Yeah, that olive green is just, I don't know. It's just, I guess they wanted that little subtle little change in color. It's so subtle though. And maybe it's more expensive. That's why they don't put a lot in there. You want a Lego China set, brick color of your choice of the 3 primary colors. Are you talking about China, like plates and silverware kind of China, or are you talking about the sets that were exclusively made for China with the 2x4 basic bricks printed on the large plate, the saucer? Okay, you are talking about plateware. Be a 2x2 basic brick, and the teacup would be a 1x1 basic brick Chinaware dish set. You could probably, nowadays you could probably paint that and get a, go to one of those pottery shops and have it kiln fired for you. My dad, I think I may have mentioned to you that we used to do every Super Bowl. We would rotate between our house and two of my dad's Air Force buddies' homes. And one of the wives, Auntie Sue, we always called each other Auntie and Uncle. So Auntie Sue had a kiln in her garage because she loved to do pottery. So sometimes we would do little projects, and she would have us paint something, and then we would put it in the kiln, and then by the time dinner was done, we had something to bring home with us. It was actually pretty cool. That is a nice memory I have of my time with them. Okay, so I think this is like river stones and things that we're doing, because you can see that here's the long one, and then it's kind of winding down along the edge there. Zoom in a little so you can see. Yeah, I like this camera. So I think it's a little like a little river going down a slope. You'd make the older people make it rain for one. My grandparents all collected Chinaware sets. There's actually a store in North Carolina. You probably have heard of it. It's called Replacements. I think it's near Greensboro. I remember driving past it all the time. And the guy who owns it, he came to talk to our MBA class one time about his business. And he said, it's not an easy business to be in because you have all this inventory you have to keep track of, and the inventory is fragile. Now, here's something I don't have a lot of. These are those translucent 1x2 curves. So these are going to go into this little riverbank too. So, yeah. Oh, this is nice. So these, like I said, it's like a little river here we're making. Considering this is, just a little set of a rabbit, it's actually pretty detailed. It's pretty surprising. Okay. Oops. Gotta be careful here. They're adding these green tiles. So it's almost like the grass and then the water running through it. And they have to keep it within that section because this opens up, right? So it's pretty self-contained. Yeah, so if you go to replacements.com, you can look up a China set. They have this amazing inventory. And I have picked up some special like teapots and things with a certain pattern on it, because I really like teapots. So the British teapots, they're my jam. Okay, this goes here. Yeah, so you can see we're doing a lot of this little detailing work. Oh, look, Lena's here. Hey, Lena. Oh, no, you're taking Glenn's catchphrase. You have a few pieces that I'd love to acquire to complete my set of dishes. Yes, go search on Replacements. And it's in North Carolina. So you probably, if you're ever up in the Raleigh area or Greensboro area, you probably could pop over there and pick it up instead of paying for shipping. So anyway, so we're working on this little set, and like I said, it's kind of nice that this little style of detailing here. And yeah, you can see. Look at this. Zoom in a little. So they've added this dark green here. So it's almost like maybe a bush or something, like a micro scale bush or leaf hanging over the water. And then you have the trans water. Here's that 1x2 slope that I was talking about. I don't have very many of those, so this has a lot of detail work. So we're almost done with bag number 1. Yeah, so this water is, so the water ends right here on the edge of that, but they're going to continue it onto this next plate. So more of these 1x2s. And we have trans dots. Like I said, I don't think I have a lot of trans dots. But we're just building like a little waterway. Very cute. Very, very cute. Oops, did I do that right? Yeah, that's correct. So you can see the waters going through. Trans for days. Brief lurk to appease the the anxious kitty with some kibble. Okay, no problem. We'll see in a little bit. Today I got a fork, knife, and spoon. Eating food has gotten way easier, and I'm grateful for all the little things in life. I'm surprised your grandparents didn't give you a fork, a knife, and a spoon. Oh my goodness. They're always amazing components to acquire. Yeah, the trans pieces, definitely. And like I said, we have some trans 1x1, just translucent clear ones. Oops. Okay. Why is this not clutching? There we go. More of that olive color, I guess. Yeah, so this is just little details that they're adding to this little. So you can see that just little studs that they're adding to this. And, okay, so they also have these dots, the ones that are kind of raised and pearlescent, and those are going around the borders. So looks like, make sure, yep, that's where it opens. And this little olive green, another one of these trans. Oops, sorry, I didn't realize it was not in frame. So we're just putting this around the perimeter. And then trans clear square plate right at the edge. Okay. So you can see we've done that little bit. We're probably going to finish this with what's left. Yeah, not a lot, but that's what we have left. Satin trans clear rack, 1x1 jewel octagonal. Okay. I just say a pearlescent raised dot. Thank you. That's dope, yo. I know I haven't said that in a while. I still haven't found my It's Dope Yo sign, so I can hang that up. I mean, I've been looking around my apartment and I just said, it's just frustrating that I've moved here and I still can't find stuff. It's just, I got to do something. I gotta be better about this. So this is interesting, is that we're putting this white 1x2 curve on a trans 1x2 plate. And then we have, I call it a bread loaf piece, or so this one by one with the curve. So what he said, as far as that satin piece, yeah. Okay, so I need to make 2 of these. I'll get 2 of these. And like I said, it's more detailing. It's almost like being in a mountain stream on a snowy day. At least that's what I think it is. All right, so this one, where's this one gonna go? Oh, we have, all right, what did I miss here? I missed putting these curves down. Hold up, what did I do? Did I miss? Okay, no, I just missed one step, and that's these curve pieces are actually going along that curve here to make it a little more distinct, like that. And then we have a trans 1x2 curve at the bottom. So it's like a river flowing through it. Life is a journey of looking at the answers to your questions. You may not find the ones you want, but hopefully you can find the ones that you can accept. Quote myself from 2021. Nice. Did you say on a smelly day? No, snowy day, not a smelly day. I'll have to go back and listen to the recording. Maybe I need to enunciate more. Okay, so I made those little snowy little mounds, and the snowy mounds are going to go across here. Oh, I see. So that stack of trans 1x2s are for that. So, okay. Interesting. Where's the other one? Here's the other one. And I believe this is going here. Huh. Okay. So you can see this kind of stylized view. It's not all on you. My audio processing is lacking. Okay. She might have been taking those Canada smoky fire days. No, I've been pretty good. I listen to my recordings afterwards, and I still have to work on my filler words where I say a lot of ums and ahs, and I should know better than that because I'm in Toastmasters and they train us not to use filler words, to just embrace the silence. But I think when I'm streaming it, maybe it's because I'm a little nervous that I just feel like I have to put in the, see, I just did it right there, filler words. Okay, one of my favorite pieces, the turntable. So this turntable is going to go here. And I think this is for the rabbit for later. But you can see I'm down to the last bits. That might even be duplicates, except for maybe one of these. Let's see what's next. Oh, no. See, one of the things that's interesting is that usually when you get to the end of a bag, you see that flare that's on the printed copies, but this does not have it. All right, so this, I think I may have missed a dot because I have 2 of these left over, but the other pieces look like they're spares. So I'm going to leave these dots aside, just thinking maybe I can go back later. And like I said, I'm protecting my rabbits. The longer the stream, the worse it gets. I too, yet everyone has crutch words. Yeah, Lena knows because they're a member of Toastmasters too. Like, so, it's, buts, and yeah, but, and whatnot. And of course, that's always a good one. Okay, so that's the end of bag number 1. And a lot of detail work. And the next bag should be, wait a minute, oh no. I gotta open bag number 2. All right, open bag number 2. And like I said, I think we're in pretty good shape. Just notice that there's some of my hair on here, so I'm getting that off of the workspace. Okay, so I've been streaming for an hour. Got through one bag. I don't think it's going to take another hour to get to the second bag. I think this is going to go faster. And there's another little bag in here. So I'm going to put those all in the corner. Those are the extras from bag number 1. So we're going to be building a rabbit, and so I always look for mixel joints because the mixels are what's going to give the rabbit character. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little bag for these guys here. Oops. Just so I don't mix them up. You can see I already dropped one in the pile over there, so hopefully I got this right. In fact, I think this one is a spare. So I am going to, I'm going to drop that in here too. If I need it, I know where it is. Okay. Bag number 2. And we're going to be doing some more work on this side. We have these lily pads. Put these lily pads in. And more of those green, so Glenn, you're going to have to look this up for me too. This piece, the one that's got like the angle on it, going left and one going right. Got a peek at the Gabby's Dollhouse set today at the Lego store. It has 9 instruction books, clearly set up for building with friends fun. Oh, I don't even know if I know what that set is. The Gabby sets are going to sell, unlike some predecessors of various themes. See, I'm completely clueless. I'm not even sure what you're talking about. The Gabby sets. I'm going to have to look for that later. But so I'm just putting those pieces I was mentioning with the angles. I'm just making some more detail here. Okay, and all right, where is it? I'm looking for this light bluish gray, but why do I not see light bluish gray here? Unless, am I colorblind? Or maybe it's dark bluish gray. It's dark bluish gray. There we go. These pieces are fun too. This is the one that has that. Let's see if we can put it closer to where it's got the step. So it's got a slope here, but it's also got the right 90 degree. A wedge 2 by 1 by 2/3 left and right. Thank you. I call them a 1 by 2 tooth slope. Oh, okay. I could go with that as a term. Thank you. Gabby is a TV show for kids, and Lego got their IP to provide their product now in Lego, which is a big step for the brand. Oh, see, I didn't even know about this. Like Gabby, who's Gabby? All right, so let's see. How many of these do we have? We have 2. One of them goes here, where that leaf was. Where's the other one? Okay, the other angle this way, covering up the blade. So locks the blade in too. Or not the blade, but locks in the clip. So there's this set of clips. The dark gray piece is a slope 45 2x1 with cutout without stud. Thank you, Glenn. Cultural osmosis. Do so many friends have children? Yeah, that's true. I think it's interesting because I'm planning this trip to Legoland with a friend of mine, and it's kind of like a late birthday trip because I went to see my parents for my birthday, but I kind of wanted to do something fun. And so my friend says, why don't we go in October? So that's what we're doing. And I said, she goes, where do you want to go? I go, let's go to Legoland. And then as I was talking to some friends, they were talking about the weekend that I'm going. There's some Disneyana show and sale, and they're all going to be there. They said, you should come. You should come and hang out with us. So I'm looking at doing both Legoland and Disneyland in the span of like 4 or 5 days, which I know is crazy. And I know I'm not going to be able to get everything in, but it's the 100th anniversary. So I should maybe try to enjoy it or just be, surrounded by all these people, which will probably be true too. All right. I'm hesitating here because I'm looking for, I guess it must be here. I'm trying to figure out where they want this. It's either this part or right back here, but I think I'm going to go for here since they don't give me another angle. You'll have an amazing time. Yeah, I think so. I think too, just I have a group of friends now that are big into Disney, and I got introduced to this by somebody in Sort Lug of all places, which still surprises me. So anyway, I've been part of this group now for, I think, about a year now. I'll have to go back and check. And I never really thought of myself as a Disney fan, but then the more I looked around me and some of the things that I have, for example, I have a bank account with Chase. By the way, this is also a cool piece. This is a bracket piece, a 1x1 up bracket with the 2 studs. And it's going on this piece, which is going to be the base of a tree. So yeah, so we're getting into the tree building part now. And here's kind of like that slipper piece, that slope, the 1x2 with the end slope. Yeah, so anyway, I was looking around and I said, I have a debit card that has the Mickey Mouse on it. I have a nightshirt that has Mickey Mouse on it. I've got ornaments that have Mickey Mouse, and I have a Mickey Mouse watch. So you probably remember I've shown that on stream a few times. So I said, yeah, I guess I am a Mickey Mouse fan. I think because I was away from California for so long that I forgot. By the way, these are those 1x1s with bar, and they're using that to put on top of this thing. So this is just an interesting exercise in shaping because now we have a 1x1 with the 2 snots as a down bracket, and they're adding it here. So then that way you can see they've got, see how they have all this shaping coming together. So now you've got this alignment of the 2 brackets. One was the up bracket and this is the down bracket. Finding legit Disney adults is rare. It's funny because, like I said, I don't want to name names, but this person in Sort Lug invited me to this group. And then I said, okay, yeah, I'll join this group. And I didn't realize that, I guess he must have saw it in me. Maybe I talked about Disney a couple times on the Sort Lug call. I haven't been on Sort Lug in a long time, but that's one thing that I got as a positive thing out of Sort Lug. Okay, here's that telephone piece, that curve. That looks like a telephone, and well, at least an old style telephone. And this is going to go onto those 4 studs that we just made. And then we're going to put a cone on top. Brown cone. Yeah. So this looks like the base of a trunk. You're not a Mickey legit fan, but I grew up on Disney stuff. Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't really see myself as a big Disney fan, but I do know some of the songs. I know that I had a positive experience with Disney when I was growing up. I know not everybody does, but I did. Okay, so now we're putting in a sprout. The sprout is going in here. Okay, so this looks like it's part of the tree. And they want this. Where do they want this? How is this being? All right, I'm confused now. It says they want it here. I think I put this maybe in the wrong space. Yeah, this may not be in the right place. I think this is supposed to go here. Yeah. Okay. Remember that cross piece that we put in earlier? So now we have a couple of studs and we have a raised portion and yeah. And like I said, I'm building for the camera. So instead of, there we go. Yeah. All right. So this must be on the bottom here. So there we go. So all that shaping is really nice. See what I mean by the flare? So they do the flare for this, but they didn't do it for the end of bag number 1. It's kind of like, okay, okie doke. Yeah, so anyway, so this whole thing with Disney has almost been like a rediscovering of something that I didn't realize how much I enjoyed until somebody else pointed it out to me. So, and by the way, we're making 2 of these, so I'm going to do this in parallel. So sometimes it does take another person to recognize something that you love, and I think he maybe caught onto it because I liked pirates so much. Because the whole, Pirates of the Caribbean was one of my favorite rides. I used to go on that all the time. That, the Haunted Mansion. I'm glad those classics are still around. I am interested to see how the Little Mermaid submarine ride has changed from when I went. And apparently, I was reading that there's another way you can observe the ride without actually riding on it. There's a observation platform that you can go to, and the observation platform has all these video cameras that let you see what is on the submarine, so you don't have to be enclosed in a closed space with all these people. So I think they did that because of COVID, and I think I'm going to take advantage of that. I think I'm going to say, yeah, I want to be in that, observation area. And you'll still be around people, but you'll be standing, you can walk around, you're not going to be like enclosed in a submarine kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I still have to figure out the whole Disney thing, but okay. So now this, remember we put this little clip with the arm, so this apparently is going to go here. Make sure I got this right. I think it goes here. I think I might have it the wrong way though. Yeah. I think it's supposed to go this way. And I'm supposed to make 2 of these. So one goes there. You see the sprout, and then the other one is going to go on this clip here. I'm realizing as I'm building your BBN tower on my island in bracelets that I don't have enough of them in my life. You're creating a BBN tower there? Oh my gosh. I knew you were doing something with pandas, but I didn't know you were building a bracelet tower too. Wow. I also have a lot of people. Naomi, when you are at Legoland, please take pictures with the Bionicle Toa Nuva statues outside the Bionicle Blaster ride. It's like Teacups Bionicle Lego. Oh, okay. It's about 10 levels high. Oh, that's why. See, my towers are only about, I want to say, 5 bracelets tall. You're making yours 10 bracelets tall? Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, let's see if I remember how to do all this. I think I do. Because like I said, we're making 2 of these. So this brown. I know these. I was telling somebody that if you're worried about Technic, work on a botanical set. You notice I didn't use my filler words there. I was hesitating, but so if you're working on a botanical set, it's actually a Technic set in disguise. All right, so here we can put this here. This goes back to, here's the clip, and then you attach that there, and wow. Too bad P.T. McEwen is not on here. He has a library of trees. This is a really cool technique. So I think he should check this out and add this to his library of trees. The statues are not accurate to the character size in the canon, but they're about 6 feet tall. Wow. Dark purple and blue, I believe. As far as my BBN tower, it's actually lavender and black with 1x2 blue, dark blue tiles. Yeah, the BBN tower goes from level 1 through 3 of my city levels. I've got to be large enough to get the signal out. Okay. Well, now that you mention it, I just got some more BBN stickers. The one that say Brickanisa Broadcast Network, the circular ones, and several people have put them in their cities as the Brickanisa Broadcast Network on the side of a building, or I guess in your case, you're creating a tower. So also, I recommend the Technic roller coaster, and the dragon one is great too. Also, the dinosaur one is great, but the dragon coaster is a must-do at least time because it's like a story before the ride. Okay. Well, that's the thing about, they've mastered the art, both Disney and Legoland, of the wait, that when people are waiting, they don't want to be bored, right? So they have storytelling going on. Same thing at Universal Studios. And I did in fact, that was, God, I was so sick after doing that ride. I did one of the Harry Potter rides when I was at Universal Studios with a friend, and we got off of that ride, and I had to sit down for the longest time because I was so sick. I just said, I can't do this. So once again, we're taking that small leaf piece and putting those little smaller leaves. All right, so they're doing the same thing like we did on the other one, but I don't think we have the same, because I don't see that brown wrench clip thing. You got mine as the BBN main sign of the tower. Thank you. I know Cranky Bricks made it into a billboard in her city. Yeah, it was really cool. Oh, actually, we are making the same thing. Here it is. I thought I didn't have one, but I do. All right, so this one is different because this one is going to have the pumpkin, the red pumpkin. The other piece, which is really fun in these Chinese themed sets, are these tassels. So this has a tassel on the bottom. Or is it here? Yeah. The statues are 2 times taller than the Toa in Bionicle Canon. The statues are about 12 feet tall. The ride is like a story when you are on it, and there's animations made of Lego. Very cool. Automatons made of Lego. Wow. Yeah, I did hear that the Star Wars ride at Disney is pretty amazing. So that's another thing. I just did a so there. Okay, there. This one has an Apollo stud, so this one is going to go into another this here, and it's going to be held with a sprout. Ah, I see. Okay, so we need to get the sprout on first. A lot of details. All right. This definitely tests your dexterity, your finger dexterity. There we go. And so we got the tassel, got all that. Okay, we get another flare. See? Like all this flare going on. All right, so where does this one go? Oh, there's another, I think, little wrench here. And okay, I think we still have to adjust where all of these go, but I'm guessing that goes there. Oops. Hold up. All right, this is falling apart. I just need this to attach. There we go. Okay. So now you can see there's the tassel. We've got the branches here, the main trunk that we made earlier. Yeah, as I mentioned, so PT usually likes to watch these after the stream is over. And I'll say, did you look at the tree on there and add that to your library of trees? This one is a good one. I would definitely add that to my library of trees. Okay, so it sounds like we are done with the landscape of this little build, and now we're going to be working on the rabbit. Finally, we're at the rabbit. So we have these big discs. I think also some of the fun is once you've made the intention of going somewhere for a vacation, no matter where it is, whether it's Disney or if you're going, to visit relatives or going on a cruise or whatever it is that you want to do for travel, just the anticipation of the event is also brings a lot of joy. And I remember back in 2014, I was going through a really rough time in my life. And then a friend of mine told me, she goes, you've always wanted to go to New Zealand. Why don't you just go to New Zealand? And I got an invitation to speak at a conference down in New Zealand at a place called Paihia, which is in the Bay of Islands. And it was life-changing. So here's another cool piece. This is that curve plate. It goes right here, which is kind of weird because you can see it's not aligned with the plate. It's kind of jutting out, but that's what they want. So I believe this is that sun piece that is going to be in the background, or the moon. What does your sig fig look like now? Oh, do I have it close by? I do. Here's my sig fig now. And if you go onto my Instagram page, you'll see that I've posted a couple of these things. So this is my director sig fig, gray pants, and it's got the button down flannel shirt. This is a bandana that's backwards, and see, that's a bandana. And then I could probably send you one if you need one. I know you have one of my pirate ones, but this is the director one now. And I made a brick head to match, and the brick head is with Lene, the brick babe. The reason why she's holding this cowboy tile is we had an assignment for the Dream Builders lug, and it's cowboy hat day, and I had no cowboy stuff. This was the closest I came to it, was I had this tile. And I just said, okay, so she's going to hold this tile. That's my contribution for the challenge. Anyway, yeah. But thanks for asking. The entrance is a castle and the exit is a marketplace in the town center of a Middle Ages place. Oh, okay. You've been to Lego Land for about 5 or more times growing up visiting family in California. I've never been. I've never been to Legoland. I just realized that my hand's in the way of this mock or this build. That's so awesome, reversing the bandana. Oh, yeah. I like to wear scarves, so it actually was perfect. Go back to the panda tile. Oh, well, this, yeah. I should put the panda tile in place of this one. But what I did for this challenge, they had, cowboy hat day. So, but you're right. I should get the panda tile. You will love it. Going to Legoland, yeah, I'm excited about it. Should be a fun time, especially going with my friend. She is a lot of fun. So, and then when I go to Disney, I'm meeting up with a couple of my Disney friends. So that's going to be nice too. Some of them I've never met in person. I've just met through Zoom. Other people I've known. But yeah, and it makes me envious. And I used to live in California, but they have special rates if you live in California versus if you are, out of out of some other state. Let's see if I got this right. They said it should clutch here. Okay, what am I missing? Oh, there we go. Okay, I think that's right. So that's interesting build. And please, if you see an exclusive Legoland set, get it because you won't find it anywhere else. Yeah. I know that there's one, the pirate one, that I think they only sell in Billund. But if they sell it at Legoland, I may get it. Yeah, Legoland has some exclusive sets. There were a couple of sets that came out during the pandemic that were the smaller sets, like the firehouse one, I think, and there was a driving one because we did them for Thrifty Thursday. I see what they're doing. These are clouds. Very, very cool. Okay, so what we're doing is we're making clouds here. Okay, why am I not finding these? By the way, these half moon tiles are fun too. These one by 2 half moon tiles. Yeah, that's the only problem is that it's so expensive to travel right now. Gas prices are so expensive. And then once you get onto the Disney campus, and I'm sure Lego is going to be the same way, that things are going to be expensive there too. Let's see. Did I do this right? Nope, I did not do this right. They want to have a 2x2 with this, like that. And then this is behind it. So it's raised up a little bit. And then this is going to go here. Am I missing something? Yeah, I should not have put that there. Okay, I was going to say, it's not clutching. Why is it not clutching? Okay, so that's our little, I guess, moon with the clouds going by. I think it's a moon. Or it could be the sun. More stylized, it's usually the moon. Okay, I think it looks like they want one more of the half moon tiles here. So we have that stud covered up. Yeah, I would think this would be covered, but I don't remember seeing a 1x2 in white. Did we have a 1x2 in white? Ah, we do. Okay. See, my instincts were right. That needs to be raised. Okay, then you turn this over, and they said to put this here. Oh, I know what those clips are for. I know what the clips are for. So remember those clips that we put here on the side? What do you bet? What do you bet? It's got to be. It's got to be there. But before we do, we have to lock it in with a 2x2 inverse curve. So yeah, this is going to go here. So that way it doesn't go anywhere. Right? There we go. So locked in. And now we do this. Okay, let me move this branch out of the way. Or should it go maybe behind? Let's like move this around. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. That is so cool. That's a cool technique. Good night. Okay, good night, Lena. I'm glad to see a stream. It's been a long day, and tomorrow will be long too. I'll text you when I know what the future may hold for me. Well, I'm glad you're back in Seattle and that things seem to be definitely better off than you were, just about a week ago, a week or two. Amazing, right? How things change so quickly. But I'm glad you're doing okay. That's good. All right, so let me just focus in on this. Yeah, we're doing another little sub build because I think now we still haven't actually done the rabbit. I see an eye though. There's an eye here, so we're getting close. No, it's good. Thank you everybody for joining in and being a part of this because I know you could be doing other things and you're here hanging out with me. So I appreciate that. It means a lot when people spend their time with you. And that's why as I get older, I was talking about my friend who passed away. And then it was great because I reached out to my other friend and I said, our friend has passed. And she's, even though she didn't remember him, she was glad to hear from me. And so we're going to actually, we used to go to movies together a lot. We used to go to the Toronto International Film Festival. So I told her, I said, why don't we, first of all, schedule a Zoom call so we can chat with each other. And then why don't we do a watch party? Because we used to go to movies together. I said, we could do a watch party. That's similar. It's, just through Amazon Prime or something like that. These curve pieces, by the way, are awesome. They're giving this nice shape on both sides here. You can see, I think these are little rabbit feet. And these, I think, are the hips. Very cute. Very, very cute. We put a bracket in the front so that we could put some attachment to that. And we got a bracket in the back. Do the same thing so we get places to attach to. This is very cute. I'm the happiest I've ever been. Well, that's good. Well, it's the cool kids table over here, so that's why we are all here. Aw, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you think that way. Yeah, I was reading an article, trying to remember the guy's name. I think it's Alex Yeo, Y-E-O. And he was talking about your inner compass. Oops. And he said a lot of times we get driven and concerned because we're not matching up to certain algorithms or goals that are set by other people. And he talks about how you've got to find your own inner compass. Oops, I realized I missed a step. Oops, hold on. This is the problem when you stream and talk. Sometimes you're not paying attention. We also needed an up bracket, a 1x2 up bracket here. Oops, am I doing it the right way? Nope. These need to be facing the same direction. So we have 3 now going up. Okay, now these can go in. I was wondering because these these mixel joints were starting to look like they were going to hit, but they weren't up a plate. Yeah, there we go. Much better. So anyway, this guy, Alex Yo, he's got a blog called More to That. And in the blog, he was talking about this article where oftentimes we set our expectations based on what others' goals are rather than our own. And it's an easy trap to fall into. So we're putting, by the way, we're putting in these little cheese slopes facing down. Shape for this. And it's an easy trap to fall into, is that when you start making your goals what are the goals of others' expectations. So he talks a little bit about that. And I think I've been pretty good about, I don't have a lot of followers, and I don't have I don't have a plaque on my wall from YouTube saying I have 100,000 followers, but I do think I still have pretty solid content. And I also think some of the conversations that have come up, as well as some of the designs that have come up. Remember pandas going camping? And we did the pandas cliff diving. I would have never come up with that on my own. That was like a collective consciousness. So this is super cool. This is going to be the butt. So this is going to go on the back here like this. It's so cute. Now, let me see something real quick. Okay. So if we wanted to make this like the tiger butt, then we take one of these and you make it like that. Anyway, I have that tiger set. I haven't made it yet, but everybody has talked about the tiger's butt. If you make that set, you just can't help it. And it was like, it's like some sort of inside joke with Lego, I guess. The tiger butt. All right. Anyway, so moving right along. If you are interested in this guy, like I said, his name's, I believe, I want to say Alex Yo. And he has a couple of really good philosophical articles that he puts together. And it's made me rethink too about, a lot of people, I think I had this conversation with Alexander 23. We were talking about a lot of streamers have stopped streaming, and that, we're going to miss them because it's another voice that's gone, right? When you stop streaming for whatever reason, time or conflict or some medical issues, whatever it is, then that's a voice that's no longer there. And that's why when I was streaming on Twitch, they haven't seen me there in a long time. And there's automatic alerts that go out to your followers when you start streaming over there. And it was just great to have that kind of, warm welcome. Like, oh my gosh, you're back. I go, I have been streaming. You just have to go over to YouTube. That's where I'm at. I'm just hanging out on YouTube. But yeah, I think having just a group of people who can support you and be there for you, it's really nice. So we're making 2 sets of these because they're going to go on the sides here, so you can see the shaping coming together. Yeah, so that's another thing is that, if there's somebody you like to follow, like you guys like to come here, I just really appreciate that. You have, a regular following of people. That's always great. But I also streamed on Sunday because I had a note from Hooded One. And as you know, Hooded One's in the Netherlands. And he was saying that, when I used to stream on Twitch, he would look forward to starting his week because it's Monday for him, right? It's the next day and it's first thing in the morning. So he usually gets up around 6:30 in the morning to get ready for work. So he would watch my stream and, make comments and do other things and then head to work. And he said he really missed that. And I said, oh, that's really sweet. And I'm sorry I haven't been streaming, but this was a good opportunity because I had another bag I had to do for the Daily Bugle to catch up with everybody else. And he showed up and I said good morning to him and he ended up, going to work and such. Okay, this doesn't seem right. I feel like I'm missing something here. I wonder if I was... No, it says... That's what it says. Oh, I think I know. Okay, my bad. I thought it was supposed to go on this 2x2, but no 2x2. Ah, all right, let's see if I can get this extracted here. I was used to building the other side. So yeah. See, you have instincts here and you start to realize when... Okay, so there we go. We have that. These were fatter because remember we had those slopes here. Yeah, just habit. Just a habit. Okay, so they want us to stop with this. I guess this is a... Yeah, they just said to stop here. That we're now going to do... I think, yeah, this is the face. So now we're going to be working on the face of the bunny. The bunny face. Because, we got these eyeballs. We got to put these eyeballs in. All right. And dots have changed so much. And it's kind of sad that they're getting rid of the dots line. But you got to admit, dots really changed how sculpting has been for this set. Or for a lot of Lego, just the way you can put different shapes in there. Okay, so we got some eyeballs going down, or eyelashes, I should say. Yeah, usually on a pick-a-brick wall, they have a bunch of these, so you can load your cup up with lots. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen it yet, Tips and Bricks just came out with an article about the difference between the pick-a-brick cup and the boxes that are coming out. And it seems like, at least from some of my friends, it's still, the jury's out. They're not sure yet if they like the idea or not. No, okay, yeah. There we go. We need a 1x2 jumper. Okay, so this, oh, I see. I thought this was a belly. That's actually the back of the head. So this is, there we go. That is so cute. That is so funny. That's a cute little thing. Wow. Okay. All right, we're doing this again. And there we go. Oops. Oh, wait a minute. Shaping's wrong. We're doing it this way. So we're putting the 1x2 there because you can see that there's a big step. There we go. That is so cute. We still haven't put in the mixel joints yet. So let's see what's next. Okay, looks like we're putting in instead some clips. Some clips on the top of the head. Well, I'm glad you think it's the cool kids' place. Wow. Panda Camp was so long ago. It was also very judgy. That's true. I'm glad you remember Pandas Gone Camping. But that was also, I would never have come up with cliff diving on my own. The cliff diving was due to the chat. And this is why, it goes back to the inner compass that I was talking about earlier, that you have to ask yourself, why do you stream? Are you streaming because you want to be popular and you want to have, all these views? And have sponsors and do all that? Or are you, in my case, it's making me a better builder. And I've mentioned that before when I was on Mora's stream, that I said, yeah, when I build on a stream, especially when I'm doing mocks, I get to be a better builder because the chat helps me out with ideas and such. Same thing with the Rorschach prints. So I remember, Glenn, when I did the Rorschach prints, that came out because there was a Tricky Bricks challenge called the Self-Portrait Challenge. And that's when we were talking in the chat, and I said, you know what if I do an ink blot? I do an ink blot, and I did it that night. That was on a Wednesday, because I was streaming on Wednesdays at that time. And then the challenge had to be submitted, I think, Thursday, because they had the review on Friday morning. Look at this with those little stubby arms, because those are right now mixel joints, and we have some mixels. So I think the next step is going to be the arms. And then I was watching that stream. So what happened is, after I put out the Rorschach prints at Bricks Cascade, I had several people who came up to me and said they loved them. So now I really have a goal to do all 10 of them. And I never really thought of it as something. In fact, I even said in one of my streams, I was going to take it apart because I didn't really think they were that great. But people were saying, no, we love them. Keep them. Okay, this is super cute. So this, oops, wait a minute, wrong side. It's what happens when you are talking and streaming. So these are paws. And the mixel joint, you can attach it and then turn it, and then it's facing forward. Super, super cute. All right, so going back to that stream, I was watching that stream because I put it in as an example of how, because people said, what gave you the idea to do the Rorschach prints? And I looked back and I watched the video, and it was a challenge to do a self-portrait. And I was thinking, well, if I do an ink blot, I only have to worry about black and white. And it fulfilled the challenge, and people liked them. So it wasn't an idea. I didn't sit down and say, I'm going to do a Rorschach print today. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the chat. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Here's our little bunny rabbit. So cute. The ears articulate. The arms articulate too. And what's funny about the Rorschach print is that, so I did one in 24 hours in time for the first one. And then the second one I did during a live stream. And the live stream, Emmasaurus dropped in. And she goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm building a Rorschach print. And I was looking at the method I went, oh, look, Hooded One is here. We were just talking about you, Hooded One, about how I streamed on Sunday after finding out from you that, you missed me streaming on Sundays, and that I had the Daily Bugle. I had to catch up. So good morning. How are you doing? We are working on this, and your timing is perfect because we are just about done, because we just finished this little rabbit. Super cute. It's got these mixel joints on the side, and then it's using just this simple slope, and then this 1x1 with a clip as its paws. So that's the little one. Howdy, Hoodie. Yeah. And we were talking about Emmasaurus dropping in on one of my streams, which is very rare. She doesn't drop into my streams very often. And she dropped in, and I was in the middle of doing that Rorschach print. So there you go. And we have this little this little rabbit, this lunar rabbit with this little, pail, I guess, or a little barrel. I guess when you look at it in perspective, it's not a barrel compared to the size of this. It's more like a little bucket. and maybe he's gone to the stream to get his little bucket from the river. And then very cute ways of doing trees. This was an interesting technique for the trees as far as the leaves and such. And then let me zoom out. And then this is, I guess, a moon with clouds, or it could be a sun with clouds. And having the clip here with the translucent bar to hold it. Doing fine. It's almost the weekend. Yeah, that's right. It's Good Friday for you. It's awesome. So there we go. We have this little jade rabbit. I love this little piece. In fact, I think I like this better than the gift with purchases, the year of the rabbit and the year of, those. These have, some character. Now, the other thing that's cool about this is this will open up, and I saved the other rabbits because I didn't like them being caught in there. But there are 2 rabbits that come with this set, 2 little rabbits. I'll put them in just for show. But they are, and this was where we were talking the other day about the Edgar Allan Poe challenge, is that, putting like a hidden beating heart in the bottom of a floorboard or something. So anyway, the rabbits are supposed to be like this. They're like a couple. They're happy rabbits. So this is what the set looks like fully open. And then you can turn this rabbit too, or you can turn that sideways. You can turn it this way. And then you have a little hidden design as well. This does seem nicer than the gift with purchase. Yeah, I agree. But it's kind of comparing apples and oranges. True, that's true. But I like this. Like I said, I'm very fond of the way that they did this micro landscape. I think I will definitely look at some of these techniques, especially the river. You probably remember there was a Tricky Bricks challenge where I did a landscape of a waterfall with the water going over the edge. That was a fun thing to do. I haven't done one of those in a while, but I love the technique for this tree. I don't like how the poor rabbits are stuck in there when you close it up, so I'm going to take those rabbits out. But it is pretty cool, the mechanism for this closing as well, so it locks into place. And you have this rabbit, which is delightful. Very, very cool. And you get 2 small rabbits with this set too. Yeah, this is definitely a keeper. This is a very, very sweet little set. $19.99 for 288 pieces. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. But I keep telling people, yeah, I'm a slow builder, but I'm also interacting with the chat. We're chatting a little bit about, different things happening in our lives. And I think one thing that I learned, and you missed this conversation, Hooded One, is that one of my friends passed away. I didn't realize that he was suffering from a disease. I don't know all the details yet, but it's a friend of mine in North Carolina. I'll go to full screen here for a moment. And what happened is I was going through some of my Facebook history. And I haven't been on Facebook in a while. So I've been going through some of my Facebook history, just, reminiscing about my time with him. It wasn't, he was just a friend. It wasn't any relationship or anything. But there was a 3-way chat that we had with another friend of mine. So I sent a note to her last night and I said, hey, I don't know if you knew this, but he passed away and the service is this weekend in Greensboro, North Carolina. I said, I can't go, but if you were close to him, you may want to go. And she didn't even remember his name. It's like, she said, I talked to a lot of people. I said, okay, well, what came out of this though, is that I reached out to her because of his death. And then she and I had a conversation about how she and I hadn't chatted in a long time. And I've missed you. And how's your husband doing? And we used to go to the Toronto International Film Festival a lot. And she goes, are you going back? I go, probably not this year, but who knows, maybe next year, maybe I'll go back in September. But what was nice is that we were talking about the pandemic, and I said, you know what we can do? Let's do a Zoom call, catch up, because it's been probably 5-6 years since I last spoke with her and her husband. And I said, why don't we do a watch party? Since I can't go to the film festival, why don't we just pick a film, that we could watch on, say, Amazon Prime or Netflix or something, and do a watch party and, just enjoy the film together. So we're working that out. But in a way, I said at the end of our conversation, I said, it's sad that our friend is gone, but his death brought us back together as friends. So it goes back to life's too short. You have to, do what you can to enjoy your life. And so Hooded One, since you're here, by the way, I have the new Hashima guys who are going to be here on Sunday. So let's just talk about the schedule a little bit. I just posted this as a reel on my Instagram account. So Thursday, Thrifty Thursday, we just did the Jade Rabbit, which is adorable. Absolutely loved it. Then Friday, tomorrow, we're going to be going through season 2, episode 8 of Lego Masters New Zealand. And what's been great is that I was able to secure Jake Ruse, who is one of the pair who won last year. So he is going to join me in PT, and we're going to go through episode 8 tomorrow at 5 o'clock at our usual time. So we're down to just 2 more episodes of reviews for Fridays for the Lego Masters New Zealand. And then we have new Hashima. We've got Simon Liu and Stefan Fermentino. I asked him how he pronounced his name. So his last name is Fermentino. So Stefan Fermentino, who started this back in Alabama like 4 years ago, and it's just grown so much. So we're going to have a discussion about the collab, how it came together, what was his thoughts about how it started, all of that. So that's the new Hashima guys are going to be here on Sunday. I'm super excited. So, and the reason why I mentioned this Hooded One is that Hooded One asked, if I'm coming to the US in 2024 to go to a convention and I go to Brick World Chicago, do you think you might come? And I can't stand crowds. I mean, I've stayed away from Brick World Chicago for a long time, but I said, Hooded One's going to be there. Debo's going to be there. Monica's going to be there. Aubrey's going to be there. There's going to be a whole bunch of people there. So I probably should go. I haven't fully committed yet, but I do have it on my radar. So I just wanted to let you know that, and especially talking to these guys on Sunday, it'll be interesting to see what they're going to be doing for next year. Because I do want to see that collab come together again. Can we give the new Hashima guys grief for taking up so much room during setup at Brick World? Sure. If you have any advanced questions, because I know not all of you can attend during my Sunday time frame, because it's Sunday at 1 o'clock Pacific. So he's in Alabama. So Stefan Fermentino, and then also Simon, I think, is either East Coast. So he's either out of Toronto or he might be out of Chicago. I'll have to do some more research. But do Brick Rodeo instead, Hoodie. Yes, exactly. But he wants to go to a place where, because he's traveling so far, that a place he hasn't been to and a place where he's going to get, the most value for his money. So I think, I don't know, is Brick Rodeo in Austin next year? I know you rotate back and forth between Houston and Dallas, maybe, or Austin, one of the two. That new Hashima has grown is an understatement. I know. And if at the end of the video, if you watch the video from Beyond the Brick, and I quote, Stefan says, "We're not done yet, so buckle up." And they talked a lot about the soda that, why am I drawing a blank? God, it's the green soda that everybody drinks when they need caffeine. Why am I drawing a blank? Mountain Dew. So apparently Mountain Dew is the drink of choice if you're going to be on that collab. So, Austin in 2024. Okay. I will definitely be in Austin in April of 2024 because that's also when the solar eclipse is coming out. And I talked with my friend. She's already made hotel reservations, so we just have to get there. Oh my gosh, PT is here. PT, I was just getting ready to close things down. But I'm glad you're here because I mentioned you in the broadcast that this has got to be added to your library of trees. Let me see if this might be a better view from behind here. This tree has some amazing techniques that you'll really enjoy. So I would highly recommend that you check out this set, or at least look at the instructions, because it's a lot of fun. But yeah, just in time. And speaking of PT, I hadn't mentioned yet also that in addition to Jake Roos, who's going to be here tomorrow, PT, of course, McEwen and I have been reviewing this. So we only have 2 more episodes. This week it's going to be Jake Roos, who was one of the winners from season 1, who's going to review this with us. And then the following week, we have 2 of the contestants. We have Ollie and Charlie, who we've been wanting to get on the show because they're just freaking hilarious, freaking talented. They're going to be on the show the following week. So this next couple weeks is going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have to pick that up. It's a good set. It's a good little set. And we were even talking about how I think I like it better than the gift with purchase, the Year of the Rabbit gift with purchase. But Jade Rabbit, $19.99, 288 pieces. On the solar eclipse, the path of the solar eclipse is also going direct over Niagara Falls. Really? Oh, well, my friend lives in Texas, though. She lives in El Paso. So we kind of already had made an agreement that we were going to go to the Austin one. And then also Glenn is there. I still have not met Glenn in person. Someday I was going to meet you in person, but of course I came down with COVID, which, by the way, I found another person who came down with COVID after Brick Rodeo. He sent me a note asking how I was doing, and sorry he missed me. But him and his wife came down with COVID after Brick Rodeo. So I guess it was just meant to be. But April 2024, we will be, in fact, we should probably do a solar eclipse stream after the solar eclipse. Something. We'll do something around the solar eclipse. Sounds like you need to find some news friends in Niagara Falls. No, this friend of mine, she and I have traveled together and we have so much fun. She also flew from Texas to Sacramento 3 years ago when I left for Seattle. And we did a road trip from pretty much from Sacramento all the way to Seattle together. She's a really dear friend of mine. In fact, I think I may have mentioned this. She's Hispanic and I'm Asian, but when we travel together, people think we're sisters. It's crazy. It's really crazy, but she's awesome. And maybe I'll have her on the show sometime. I should probably see if she'd want to do that. Yeah, she's been an amazing supporter, really great friend. In fact, I found this photo. Oh, I forgot to do this. Let me go grab those playing cards because I mentioned this earlier to Glenn about the playing cards. And when I do that, I'll grab this Alcatraz photo as well, because I think they're it just shows you what a kind of a cool friend I have. All right, so I'm going to just step aside and I'll be right back. I'm close. This is so timely because I literally found this yesterday. This is Alcatraz Island, the inescapable experience. And I took her there when she came to visit me in the San Francisco area. And this is my friend B. And there's a photo of us in front of Alcatraz, which is, the standard photo. It's not an actual live photo. It's a backdrop. But this sign that we're carrying, it says, Naomi and B's Epic Adventure. TI past district governors gone wild. And we met through Toastmasters International. And this was part of a trip where we essentially did the whole Pacific Northwest. We started in the San Francisco area, as you saw with the Alcatraz twins. Yes, exactly. She and I look like sisters, right? And she's Hispanic and I'm Asian. And people, when they see us, especially when we're together chatting with each other, they, we complete each other's sentences. We have a good time. So anyway, B and I went to the solar eclipse on this trip. We started in the San Francisco area. We ended up going up to, I think it was Alaska, actually. We might have started in Alaska. But we, at one point when the solar eclipse happened, we went to Portland and we drove to this little town called Malala. And it was just in the zone. Because I told her, we're not going to Salem because it's going to be a zoo down in Salem, because that's where they had complete dark coverage. And we ended up meeting an astrologer and his family. And he said, yeah, the eclipse is going to go right this way. So we said, we're going to sit right next to you. Anyway, that's my friend B. She and I are going to be in somewhere in Austin. So these are those playing cards I was telling you about. They come in this set. So here's the box, brick playing cards by Lego. So it is Lego branded. And you get 2 decks of playing cards. So I was wondering if they had these at Brick Rodeo, because we were talking about we were going to play euchre and some other playing cards. So here's one of the decks, and the other deck is the red and orange deck. So you get these 2 decks. And I found out about this. Oh, this is fun. Okay, so you have the stud side, and then you have the tube side. So they were very clever in the way they're printing these. You have those cards. Okay, so you know about these. Well, for the sake of anybody else who may not have these cards, I'll just open these real quick. And these cards are very cool because, all right, so you have the same print, but they have, check out the Joker. The Joker is a minifig Joker. And the rest of the cards, let me check on the face cards. Yeah, the face cards are fun. All right, so the regular cards, the numbered cards are no big thing, but you have this Jack, you have the Queen of Hearts, the minifig with the hearts, the King of Hearts. So you can see that they've integrated some minifigures into the design as well, which I think is really cool. Let me see if any of the other ones are any different. No, they look about the same. Here, I'll just show you again for the spades. There's the Jack of Spades, and the Queen of Spades, and then the King. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but I just thought it was cool. He posted just the Jokers when he had posted this, and I asked him, where did you get those? And he got them from Barnes & Noble. So I went there, I think maybe 2 or 3 days after he did his post, and I asked one of the salespeople, can you see if you have any of those available? So she got one for me, and yeah, so there you go. So if you don't have one of these, check your Barnes & Noble. They have them, at least the one here in Vancouver was near the checkout stand. It was not in the regular Lego area. And this is nice too, because, in addition to the carrying sleeve, they also have this little box, and the box helps protect them. So I imagine if you're going to a convention, you may want to label yours so they don't go walking off. But I was so excited to get these. So that's another thing that was a lot of fun. But anyway, by the way, I also want to go to Chicago because Frank Lloyd Wright did live there. Oh, okay. And there are a couple of his buildings that I also would like to visit, Roby House and Unity Temple. Oh, okay. Well, Chicago is a really cool place. So I would say if you're coming to Chicago and New Hashima is going to be in Chicago again this year, I will probably go. Because like I said, the New Hashima guys are going to be here, and I want to know what they mean by buckle up, because we are going to be here next year with something probably even bigger, because he said we're not done yet. So I don't know what that means exactly. I'm going to tell him that's going to be one of my questions because I want to know what are the plans next, what he's planning to do. And both him and Simon will be here. And Simon, I actually met at Bricks Cascade a couple years ago. And he remembered me. And it was funny because I didn't remember meeting him until he reminded me. He's very well known in brick world. He goes there every year. And he's a very accomplished designer and also amazing builder, too. So I'm super excited that they've agreed to come on the show. They will be here Sunday. So today was Thursday. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock for Lego Masters New Zealand review. And then Sunday at 1 o'clock is going to be the new Hashima people. And of course, if you are a member of locals.com, I also have a Zoom call that we're doing on Friday nights as well. In fact, I should be doing my outro, shouldn't I? Please like and subscribe to the stream if you enjoyed this content. Thank you for being here because you're listening to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. As I mentioned, we have some really great content coming up in the next few days. And you can also follow me on Rumble, rumble.com/user/Brickanista. And if you want to send any kind of fan mail, you can send it to P.O. Box 87232. Vancouver, Washington, 98687. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Hooded One. Thank you, PT. Thank you, Glenn, Lena, everybody who's just kind of dropped into the chat. Really great to see you here. And Alexander23 was here too. Thank you so much for keeping me company and for inspiring me and keeping me very energetic and very optimistic about what's happening in the world, because we all need a little bit of Lego just to keep us feeling like this little rabbit, just content and happy. Anyway, take care, everyone, and hope to see you tomorrow when we have our review of Lego Masters New Zealand Season 2, Episode 8. Take care, everybody. Good night, and may the clutch be with you. Take care. Good night. Bye.